He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He laughed. I was working past midnight, laptop open, chasing a side hustle I hadn't told anyone about yet. He looked at me and said, "That's cute, you actually think this will make money?" Then he added something worse. He said real partners don't waste time on fake dreams. I almost quit that night. Almost. Because 2 weeks later, a paycheck came in, and the moment he saw the number on my screen, everything in our relationship changed. Miller leans back on the couch, scrolling through his phone like he doesn't have a care in the world. It's 12:43 a.m., and I'm hunched over my laptop at the kitchen table, eyes burning from the screen's glare. My fingers fly across the keyboard, adjusting colors on a social media template for a small coffee shop in Seattle. They're paying me $200 for this project. $200 might not sound like much to some people, but to me, it's proof. Proof that my side hustle, the one I started 3 months ago, might actually work. Miller glances over at me and laughs. Not a gentle chuckle. A real, audible laugh that echoes in our tiny apartment. "You're still doing that?" he asks, shaking his head. "That's cute, you actually think this will make money?" My fingers freeze on the keyboard. My heart does this weird skip and sync thing. I don't look at him. I can't. "It's just a side project," I mumble. "Babe, it's embarrassing," he says, still scrolling. "You're up past midnight working on, what? Facebook posts for strangers?" The room goes quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. But he keeps laughing, softly now, like my dreams are a joke he's already tired of telling. Then he says one sentence that cuts deeper than the laugh. "Real partners focus on real income," Miller says, setting his phone down on the coffee table. His tone shifts from amused to serious. "I'm tired of carrying this relationship financially, Casey. I really am." My name is Casey Brennan. I'm 27 years old, and I work as a receptionist at a dental office making $38,000 a year. Miller works in sales and makes $62,000. He never lets me forget it. His words hit me like cold water. Carrying the relationship? I pay half the rent. I buy groceries. I split utilities. But because he makes more, he acts like I'm a burden. "I'm not asking you to carry anything," I say quietly, my voice shaking. "Then why are you wasting time on this instead of finding a real second job? Or asking for a raise? Something that actually helps us? Us. Like we're a team." But his words don't feel like teamwork. They feel like control. I sit there, humiliated, cornered, and small. My chest tightens, and I want to cry. But something hardens inside me instead of breaking. Something sharp and determined. I close my laptop slowly. Then I make a silent decision he doesn't notice. I walk to the bathroom and lock the door. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely turn the faucet on. I stare at myself in the mirror, eyes red, jaw clenched, face pale under the harsh fluorescent light. I replay his words over and over. Real income. Carrying the relationship. Embarrassing. I almost quit that night. Almost. I imagine closing my freelance accounts, deleting my portfolio, and just giving up. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm foolish for believing a side hustle could become something real. Tears stream down my face, and I wipe them away angrily. I hate that he made me cry. I hate that his opinion has this much power over me. But then I think about the coffee shop owner who hired me. She said my designs were exactly what she envisioned. She trusted me. She paid me. I take a deep, shaky breath. Instead of quitting, I splash cold water on my face, unlock the bathroom door, and walk back to the kitchen table. Tears still wet on my cheeks, I reopen my laptop. The screen lights up, and an email notification pops up. My heart stops. The email is from a potential client, someone who reached out 4 hours ago asking about my rates. 4 hours. I'd missed it earlier because I was arguing with Miller about dinner plans. The subject line reads, "Still available for project?" Panic floods through me. What if they already found someone else? What if I lost this opportunity because I was too distracted to check my inbox? My hands tremble as I click on the email. The client runs a small online boutique and needs branded Instagram graphics. They saw my portfolio and want to hire me for a monthly retainer. $300 a month for ongoing work. $300 a month. That's consistent income. That's not a fluke, that's a foundation. I start typing a response immediately, trying to sound professional even though my hands won't stop shaking. Hi. Yes, I'm still available. I'd love to discuss your project further. When works for you? I hit send and hold my breath. 30 seconds later, my inbox dings. The client replies immediately. Perfect. Can we hop on a call tomorrow at 10 a.m.? I stare at the message, relief washing over me. I didn't lose them. I still have a chance. The next morning, Miller is making coffee when I walk into the kitchen. He glances at me, and his expression softens slightly. Hey, he says. About last night, sorry if I came off harsh. I just worry about you, you know? I'll support you when you start making real money from this. I just don't want you burning out for nothing. If I took it the wrong way. When I start making real money. His apology has conditions. His support suddenly comes with a price tag attached. I pour myself a cup of coffee and nod. Thanks, I say flatly. But inside, something shifts. I realize he's only willing to believe in me if I prove myself first. And even then, his belief will be tied to what I produce, not who I am. From that moment on, I stopped telling him anything about my work. If you're enjoying this story, please like and subscribe for more stories just like this. Your support truly means everything. Over the next 2 weeks, I start waking up at 5 a.m. I work on client projects before heading to my receptionist job. I come home, make dinner with Miller, watch TV until he falls asleep, then I work until 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. My eyes ache. My back hurts. But I don't tell Miller any of it. He assumes I've given up on the side hustle. Sometimes he asks, still doing that design stuff, and I just shrug. A little. The silence becomes my shield. Every time I want to share a win, I swallow it. Every time I'm excited about a new inquiry, I keep it to myself. Miller thinks I'm quieter because I'm tired from work. He has no idea I'm building something in the shadows. One Thursday afternoon, I'm sitting at the dental office front desk when my phone buzzes. It's an email from a marketing agency. They need a designer for a 4-week project. The pay? $1,200. My heart races as I read the details. They found my portfolio online and want to schedule a call. I glance around the empty waiting room and type back, I'd love to discuss this. I'm available anytime after 6 p.m. This isn't just another small gig anymore. I land a small but serious contract. 2 weeks later, I finish the project and submit the final files. My stomach is in knots as I wait for their response. What if they hate it? What if they ask for endless revisions? What if they refuse to pay? But an hour later, the agency's project manager emails back, "This is fantastic, Casey. Exactly what we needed. Payment sent." I refresh my bank account obsessively. Then I see it. $1,200. Deposited. Real. The first client pays, not much compared to Miller's monthly salary, but enough to prove the hustle works. I want to scream. I want to run into the living room and show Miller my phone. But I don't. Instead, I sit on the floor of our bedroom, back against the bed, and let myself smile. A real, unguarded smile. I celebrate alone, sitting on the floor so Miller won't hear. That night at dinner, Miller sighs heavily and says, "Money's tight this month." I had to cover the car insurance by myself again. I wish you could contribute more, Case. I stared down at my plate, jaw clenched. I just made $1,200. But I don't say a word. Miller complains about money that same night. A week later, we're at his friend's barbecue. Miller is holding a beer, laughing with his buddy Derek. I'm sitting nearby, pretending to be interested in a conversation about fantasy football. Then I hear Miller say, "Yeah, Casey's still at the dental office. I keep telling her to look for something better, but you know how it is. Some people just aren't ambitious." Derek laughs. At least she's not like my girlfriend. She tried selling candles online for like 2 months. Total disaster. Miller nods, then glances at me. Casey did some freelance thing for a while. Designing stuff. I think she's over it now, though. He laughs, so casually it hurts worse than the first time. I force a smile and sip my drink, but inside I'm screaming. He has no idea I'm still doing it. That I'm making progress. That I just landed 2 more clients this week. Later that night, I'm lying in bed when my phone buzzes. It's a calendar invite. A video call with a potential client, a skincare brand looking for someone to design their entire product packaging line. The pay? $3,000. I receive a calendar invite for a bigger call. The call happens 2 days later. I'm nervous, sitting in my parked car during my lunch break, laptop balanced on my steering wheel. The client, a woman named Vanessa, appears on screen. She's polished, professional, and intimidating. We've been burned by designers before, she says bluntly. We need someone reliable. Someone who can deliver on time and handle feedback without falling apart. Can you do that? I swallow hard. Yes. Absolutely. She explains the project in detail. It's bigger than anything I've done before. If I mess this up, it could ruin my reputation. But if I succeed, it could open doors I didn't know existed. I'll need the first drafts in 2 weeks, she says. 2 weeks. While working full-time. While hiding everything from Miller. I'm offered a chance to scale, but it requires betting on myself. If it fails, I lose months of effort. I take a deep breath. I can do that, I say. She smiles. Great. I'll send the contract over today. I say yes anyway. That evening, Miller notices something different about me. I'm sitting straighter. Typing faster. Smiling at my screen. You seem happy, he says, suspicious. Miller notices my sudden confidence. What's going on? Miller asks, setting his phone down and actually looking at me for the first time in days. You've been acting weird. Busy. Secretive. I'm not being secretive, I lie. Then what are you doing on that laptop every night? I close my screen slightly. Just stuff. His eyes narrow. Stuff? Casey, are we okay? You barely talk to me anymore. I want to laugh. He barely listened when I did talk. But I don't say that. Instead, I shrug. I'm fine. Just tired. Are you avoiding me because you're embarrassed? He asks. About the money thing? Because I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I just want us to be realistic. He assumes I'm avoiding him because I'm ashamed. I let him believe it. It's easier that way. Meanwhile, I check my email obsessively. The skincare brand contract has been signed. The first milestone payment, $1,000, will be sent once I submit the initial drafts. 2 weeks from now, I'll know if I can really do this. My first large payment is scheduled. 2 weeks pass in a blur of sleepless nights and caffeine. I finish the first drafts and submit them with shaking hands. Vanessa responds within an hour, these are great. A few tweaks needed, but we're on the right track. I make the revisions and resubmit. Then I wait. The payment is supposed to come within 48 hours. But day 1 passes. Nothing. Day 2 passes. Still nothing. Panic hits me like a freight train. What if they changed their mind? What if this was all a scam? What if Miller was right, that I'm wasting my time chasing something that doesn't exist? I refresh my bank account every 10 minutes. My hands shake. My stomach churns. Every insult Miller ever said feels suddenly true again. On day 3, I'm sitting at my desk at the dental office, staring blankly at the appointment schedule. My phone is face up next to my keyboard. Then, at 2:47 p.m., a notification finally appears. Payment received, $1,000. I stare at the screen, frozen. $1,000. In one payment. For 2 weeks of work. That's more money than I've ever made in a single transaction. It's proof. Real, undeniable proof. I sit there stunned, my heart pounding so loudly I can hear it in my ears. I want to cry. I want to scream. I want to call everyone I know. But I don't. I just sit there, staring at my phone, letting the reality sink in. That evening, I'm in the kitchen making dinner when I hear footsteps behind me. Miller walks into the room. I'm checking the payment confirmation one more time on my laptop, just to make sure it's real, when Miller appears over my shoulder. "Whoa," he says, eyes widening. "Is that your bank account?" I slam the laptop shut, but it's too late. He saw the number. "Casey, did you just get paid $1,000? My face burns. I don't want to tell him. But there's no denying it now. "Yeah," I say quietly. His entire tone changes, too instantly, too eagerly. "From what? The design thing? I thought you stopped doing that." "I didn't stop. Why didn't you tell me?" He's smiling now, impressed, leaning against the counter like we're best friends. "That's amazing. What was the project?" I watch him carefully. 2 weeks ago, he called my work embarrassing. Now he's acting like my biggest fan. "A skincare brand," I answer, keeping my voice neutral. "That's incredible, babe. See? I always knew you had it in you." My stomach twists. He asks why I didn't tell him sooner. Over the next few days, Miller's entire attitude shifts. Suddenly, he's interested in my work. He asks questions. He wants to see my designs. He tells me he's proud. "I always believed in you," he says one night while we're watching TV. "I know I gave you a hard time before, but that was just motivation. Tough love, you know? I wanted to push you to actually commit." I stare at him, speechless. Is he serious? Does he actually believe this rewritten version of history? "You laughed at me," I say quietly. "I was teasing," he says, waving it off. "You know how I am." I didn't mean it seriously. But he did. I know he did. I was there. He claims he always believed in me and says his teasing was motivation. I realize he's rewriting the past in real time. I say nothing. I just nod and look back at the TV. A few days later, he suggests we go out to celebrate. "You deserve it," he says. "Let's go to that Italian place you like." He suggests we celebrate together. At dinner, Miller is in an unusually good mood. He orders an expensive bottle of wine and raises his glass. "To Casey," he says. "And her success." I clink my glass against his, but something feels off. Midway through the meal, a couple at the table next to us strikes up a conversation. They ask what we're celebrating. "Casey just made $1,000 from her side business," Miller announces proudly, like he's the one who earned it. The couple congratulates me, but Miller keeps talking. "Yeah, we've been building this together. I encouraged her to take the leap, and now it's really paying off. We. Together. He encouraged me. I sit there, watching him borrow confidence he never helped build. Watching him take credit for something he mocked. The couple smiles at us, impressed by our teamwork. I force a smile back. Later, as we're finishing dessert, Miller leans forward and says something that makes my blood run cold. He makes a suggestion about quitting my hustle. You know, Miller says, stabbing his fork into the tiramisu, now that you've proven yourself, you don't really need to work so hard anymore. I blink. What do you mean? I mean, you made your point. You showed you could do it. But you don't need to kill yourself every night, right? You already have a full-time job. Maybe just ease up a little. Enjoy life. The support is gone again, replaced with control. He wants me to stop now that I've proven I can succeed. Because my success wasn't the point. His control was. I like what I'm doing, I say carefully. I know, but I miss you. We never spend time together anymore. And honestly, babe, $1,000 is great, but it's not life-changing. Let's just enjoy what we have. I stare at him across the table, candlelight flickering between us. He doesn't want me to succeed. He wants me to stay small enough to manage. I smile, lifting my wine glass. You're right, I say softly. He grins, relieved. But inside, I'm already planning my next move. I smile and say nothing. 2 weeks later, another payment hits my account. This time, it's $2,000. The final payment from Vanessa's project, plus a bonus for finishing early. $2,000. I stare at the notification on my phone, sitting in my car outside the dental office. My hands shake, but this time it's not from fear. It's from adrenaline. Another payment comes in. Bigger. This isn't luck. This is momentum. This is real. I open my notes app and start doing the math. In the last 6 weeks, I've made $3,200 from freelancing. If I keep this pace, I could match my dental office salary. Maybe even surpass it. For the first time, I let myself imagine a life where I don't need the receptionist job. Where I don't need Miller's approval. Where I'm completely independent. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Then I start planning my exit quietly. That night, Miller is watching a basketball game when I sit down next to him on the couch. Can I ask you something? I say. Sure, he says, eyes still on the TV. Do you remember the night you laughed at my side hustle? He glances at me, confused. What are you talking about? A few months ago. You said it was embarrassing. That I was wasting my time. He frowns. I never said that. Yes, you did. Casey, I've always supported you. I don't know where you're getting this. I stare at him, stunned. He's not just rewriting history. He's erasing it. I calmly remind Miller of the night he laughed. He denies it. Fully. No hesitation. I stand up and walk to the bedroom. I grab my laptop, open a folder I've been keeping, and return to the living room. What are you doing? Miller asks, annoyed now. I turn the screen toward him. I show him the timestamped message I saved. It's a screenshot of a text conversation from 3 months ago. Miller had texted me after I'd stayed up late working. You seriously still doing that design thing? Embarrassing, babe. Focus on real life. The timestamp is right there. Undeniable. Miller stares at the screen. His face goes pale, then red. For the first time, he can't laugh it off. He freezes. For the first time, he can't laugh it off. The power dynamic snaps. I didn't mean it like that, he stammers. Then how did you mean it? I was joking. You told me I was embarrassing. You said real partners don't waste time on fake dreams. His jaw tightens. Okay, fine. I said it. But I apologized. And I've been supportive since then, haven't I? Too late. Too suddenly. He apologizes, too late, too suddenly. Don't hold the past against me, Casey, Miller says, his voice rising. People make mistakes. I admitted I was wrong. What more do you want? I close my laptop slowly. I want you to understand what you did. I do understand. And I'm sorry. But you can't just punish me forever. We're supposed to be a team. A team. He keeps using that word like it means something. You weren't a team when I needed you, I say quietly. I know. But I'm here now. I look at him, really look at him. He's afraid. Not of losing me. But of losing access to my growth. He asks me not to hold the past against him. I realize he's afraid. Not of losing me, but of losing access to my growth. I need space, I say. Space? What does that mean? It means I need to think. About what? About us? I don't answer. I just stand up, grab my keys, and walk out the door. I tell him I need space. I spend the next 2 weeks at my friend Rachel's apartment. She doesn't ask too many questions, just gives me the couch and makes me coffee every morning. Living alone, well, away from Miller, feels terrifying and peaceful at the same time. I don't have to hide my laptop. I don't have to work in silence. I don't have to shrink myself. And my work thrives. Without the constant doubt, without the mocking comments, I land 3 more clients. My income doubles. One evening, I'm sitting on Rachel's couch editing a logo when my phone buzzes. Miller sends a long message. The message is 4 paragraphs long. I read it slowly, my chest tight. Casey, I know I messed up. I've been thinking about everything, and I finally get it. I felt threatened by your ambition. You were growing, and I was scared you'd outgrow me. So I tried to keep you small. I know that's messed up. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry. It's honest. More honest than he's ever been. He admits he felt threatened by my ambition. It's honest, but delayed. I set my phone down and stare at the ceiling. Part of me wants to forgive him. Part of me wants to believe people can change. But then my phone buzzes again. This time, it's not Miller. It's a payment notification. $5,000. My biggest client yet, an e-commerce company, just paid me for a full branding package. I read it after receiving my biggest payment yet. I sit there, holding my phone, and something clicks. Miller didn't laugh because my hustle was small. He laughed because it wasn't his. He didn't mock my dreams because they were unrealistic. He mocked them because they didn't need him. And now that I'm succeeding, he wants back in. Not because he loves me, but because he can't control me anymore. I understand the truth. He didn't laugh because the hustle was small, he laughed because it wasn't his. I open Miller's message again and read it one more time. Then I start typing a response. My fingers hover over the keys. I decide whether to respond. I reply once. Just once. Miller, I appreciate your honesty. But I can't go back. You didn't believe in me when it mattered. And I don't need you to believe in me now. I'm doing this for myself. I hope you understand. Take care. Calm. Clear. No insults. No anger. Just boundaries. I hit send, then immediately go to his contact and select block number. Firm closure. My phone screen goes dark. I block his number. 6 months later, my life is unrecognizable. I quit the dental office. I'm freelancing full-time now, making more money than I ever thought possible. I have a steady roster of clients, a savings account that actually has money in it, and an apartment of my own. No applause. No revenge speech. Just peace. One evening, I'm sitting at my desk, finishing up a project, when a notification pops up on my screen. Another payment. Another win. I smiled to myself, not because I proved Miller wrong, but because I proved myself right. He laughed at my side hustle. He said it would never work. He said real partners don't waste time on fake dreams. But dreams aren't fake when you fight for them. When you work in silence. When you refuse to quit even when the person you love tells you to. My paycheck proved that. And now, months later, I'm living proof that the only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. The loudest revenge was consistency.